Hey guys, Cameron here with Emerson Property Management. Every week I bring you tools, tactics, strategies, lessons I've learned, things that have helped me build up a sizable rental portfolio in about 2 years and now manage that portfolio. Today, guys, I want to talk about security deposit alternatives. So what does that mean? So I was at an event in September. At the time of this recording, this is late October, and they were talking about these people with 500, 600, 700, 800 units, 1,000, in the thousands. They were talking about the security deposit alternative options and how that is allowing tenants to stay in place or attracting tenants to your units. So I just want to talk through that real quick. If you just got 1 or 2 or 3 houses, this might be something that you can offer. If you got 10 or 20 and you're doing some self-management, I think this is a great thing. We've started doing it. We've implemented it, and it just seems like a very great system. It might not work for everybody. Not everybody has to do it, but it is an option for people. So let's get into it. What is a security deposit alternative? So I'll mention the company we use. There's various reasons why we went with this company. I'm not endorsing them. I don't get them paid to say this, but we use Obligo, Obligo, Obligo. And what they do is it's almost like an insurance policy. So the tenant pays a certain fee, $5 to $10 a month, 10, 15, whatever. And the Obligo will basically say, okay, we'll honor that $1,500 or $2,000 security deposit, or we'll help extract that from the tenant's bank account. So at the end of the lease, or when you submit a request to say, hey, there's some damages, I want to take it out of that, Obligo takes that, they look at it, and they say, okay, there's $500 in damages, here's the itemizations, here's the pictures, then Obligo gets that and sends that over to you. That's basically how the process works. I'm not sure if every company is like that, but there's a small monthly fee associated with it for basically a similar of an insurance policy. Now, that sounded great. I've heard about this a while ago, but from a landlord's perspective, I'm like, do I really want people not having to put up a security deposit? Do I really want to worry about people who don't have money doing that stuff? Well, here's the facts. Fact is, if a tenant is moving out of your property and into another property, you're going to take 30 to 60 days. We're supposed to send the security deposit checks out within 30 days in Texas. But that doesn't mean they get that. And they already had to apply for the place and put down the security deposit on the new place. So if you can eliminate that security deposit, you'll have the tenant jump over more easily and move into your unit. And then when the tenant's in the unit, and this is just brilliant, it never registered with me, they are going to have to come up with a security deposit for the next place. So why would they do that? Why wouldn't it make more sense to stay and pay an extra $5, $10, $20, $30, $50, $100 a month at your unit rather than come up with $1,500 or $2,000 for the next place? So it will draw tenants in and it will keep tenants in place. So again, because it's not as much cost up front for a tenant to move in, and when they're looking at their next place, that's a kind of a barrier there for them because they've got to come up with that money to move out. So it keeps tenants in and it makes tenants move in. I do not have enough data at the time of this recording to be able to educatedly, to be able to intelligently speak on how much this has changed. So hopefully I'll do another video if you guys are interested in this, maybe 6 to 12 months, and see after we go through our spring season and see how much this impacts and how more quickly we can get places rented and how much more easily we get on renewals, or maybe we'll increase the retention of our renewals. So as an owner, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses. I don't know the minimum number that they allow you to. Again, all these services, Rhino was one we looked at, Obligo. I'm sure there's umpteen different other ones that are offering this service. Just look and see what's best for y'all and what fits into your system. But if you only have a couple units, this might still be something that you could implement that could really be beneficial. And one other caveat. So as I was listening to these guys speak about this security deposit alternative, I thought, Well, let me say one other thing before that. So there are some states now. So in Texas, you can still charge the security deposit, and it can be double or whatever you want it to be based on, risk profile of your tenant or what have you. There are some states now in this country that are making security deposits only up to a certain amount. And they're trying to eliminate some security deposits because, again, it's a barrier to entry for the resident to get in the property. They have to wait and get their security deposit back from their current owner. They've got to apply and come up with that money, and they got to pay rent in the meantime. So this is something that might come down the line in legislation over the next 2, 3, or 4 years. So as a small mom and pop landlord, you might want to start looking into this now or in the near future, because you might have to go to it down the road. I don't know that. There's nothing on the docket as far as I'm aware, in Texas on that legislation, but it is something that they're doing in other states and proposing. So it might move to Texas. We don't know. So if you think, oh, I'm not going to worry about that, you might not have to. Maybe it doesn't come out for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Maybe it never comes out. But it is something that folks are looking at in other states, and it could make its way here. So one big question that I had when I heard this at the conference was, am I going to get paid? Oh yeah, that sounds great, but I know when I have my auto insurance or any of my other insurance services, they want to fight you tooth and nail on every little friggin' claim you make. They don't want to pay out the money. So this is a company, the company we selected, Obligo, who has had great reputation with making payouts sometimes within 48 hours. So when you submit and you have your documentation line, you're getting paid in 48 hours. That is super quick. So that risk, that was the other risk is this company actually going to be able to fulfill that? And I have heard from businesses with a lot more properties than what we have say that is okay. That has not been a risk of waiting forever to get paid, denied claims. They're saying it's like 99%. Most of these guys were saying 99% paid out in claims, and the 1% that they didn't get paid out, they were making some mistakes on. So something to look at. As a mom and pop landlord, I'm trying to bring you all some information that I think is beneficial for you, or at least for you to think about at some point. Again, I'm not sure on the door count you have to have for some of these services, but it is something that we might have to do per legislation. And I think if you dig into it, you might find that this is a great option for tenant retention and to bring tenants into your property, make it more desirable. So deposit free is coming up. It's coming down the line. I think it could be a big benefit for y'all. So I hope that was helpful. If it was, let me know. If it wasn't, let me know. I appreciate y'all, and see y'all next week.